We're going to move on to the last position on offense, the offensive line group. The most important position on this Miami Dolphins team. I stand by that. 10 toes. This unit will sink or swim this team to wherever they go, no pun intended. And it's a new group for the most part. We're really only returning one guy from from our offensive line last year, and that's Jesse Davis at right tackle. Me and Carlos are both Jesse Davis fans. I know a lot of people maybe don't like Jesse Davis. I think the guy is good. I think he's very flexible. I think the fact that he can play all those positions on the offensive line, very few teams have guys like that. And, no, we're not raving Jesse Davis to get a 5-year contract extension. That's not what we're doing. It's just the luxury of having someone that can just fill in any position. Like if you have, Flowers go down, you could easily move him to left guard and, put Hunt at right tackle. Or if Jackson goes down, you can move him to left tackle and, put Hunt at right tackle. You know what I mean? So it's just the fact that, having someone like that who's versatile and can play all those positions, that's very tough as an offensive lineman. But we're just going to go through and talk about the offensive line. At left tackle, we have Austin Jackson, rookie, first-round pick. Really excited to see him. Happy that he pretty much honed down that left tackle position. That's his position, really, for the taking for years to come. That's what we drafted him for. And I look forward to seeing him develop. He's still very, very young. So be patient with him, even if it doesn't come together early on. So young. I think he's like 19 years old. Like, dude, I'm 23. Like, that's crazy. At left guard, we brought in Flowers. I know a lot of people were a little skeptical about him and the contract that we gave him. However, this dude balled out last season at left guard. I mean, he was great, and he received nothing but praise from his coaching staff. So I'm really excited about that. I know we saw some tweets that he was really taking, ownership of leading the young guys. He was staying with them after practice, getting that extra work in with them. And I think that's so important. I spoke to this about you with, his journey of being an offensive lineman. It wasn't sweet at the beginning. He was a high first round draft pick in a big market in New York. Played terribly, ended up getting released or cut, I think, ended up signing on with the Redskins. The Redskins forced him to change his position, something that guys aren't willing to do. But, him, I think it speaks to his character, team first guy. He made the move and things have gone up for him. He got a contract out of it. And I'm really excited to see Flowers. It seems like he really wants to be here and I'm excited for him. We also have Ted Karras, who we got from the Patriots. He was their backup center. He will be starting for us. Not only will he be starting, he is also a team captain, which is awesome. We also have Solomon Kinley, who was our 4th-round pick. Correct me if I'm wrong afterward. And we have Jesse Davis as our starting right tackle. The one person that you did not hear mentioned was Robert Hunt. I know a lot of Dolphins fans have had very colorful opinions already. You guys are quick on Twitter, man. You guys are so quick. Already associating the word bust with him. I mean, listen, dude was a 2nd-round pick, and I wanted to highlight Jesse Davis for that reason specifically. I think the Dolphins view Jesse Davis the same way me and Carlos view Jesse Davis. I think he is an important piece of this offensive line, and he can still play. And I don't think that is taking anything away from Robert Hunt. And if you look at the depth chart, he's listed as the backup right tackle. However, I'm pretty confident that Robert Hunt is just going to be the first guy up on any position on that line if someone goes down. And I'm pretty sure that that's going to be his position because I don't see Jesse Davis being our long-term solution at any position on our offensive line. So the minute they do decide to move on from Jesse Davis, it'll be Robert Hunt's position for the taking. I just think it was a bit premature to associate the bust term with Robert Hunt. This is a young line still, big, meaty, which is something that we've been banging the table for years. I know Joe Philbin, Adam Gase came in and tried to bring in like these kind of lighter offensive linemen who can move a little bit better, get to the second level. That really didn't work out for us. But yeah, without further ado, I'll let Carlos continue to evaluate the offensive line position.
Yeah, I think you touched on the biggest piece that I wanted to touch on was Hunt, and people talking bust with him. Like, we need to put into perspective the fact that we have rookies all over the NFL that came in in a draft that was virtual because of COVID, had camp that was affected because of COVID. weren't able to play preseason games because of COVID. And especially with offensive linemen, like it's very hard to evaluate offensive linemen when they don't have competition. And so if we're not able to put them into an actual game situation, it's really hard to evaluate an offensive lineman and how productive they're able to be. So I actually genuinely think that hurt Hunt the most. And I honestly think that helped out Kinley. I think the opportunity for him to work hard, show at practice every day that he belongs, and being able to step it up at a position that was open, I think it benefited him, and I'm happy for him. Whereas I think for Hunt, it was the opposite, where I think he was able to, he wasn't able to show his skills in a game setting, where I actually think they would shine more than they would at practice, because you're not trying to maul guys at practice, like especially in preseason. Like it's not a thing that you do, and if you do it, it's very selective. So I do believe that Kinley was set up a little bit easier and was put in a better position because of COVID, as well as I also believe the competition that Kinley faced in college was a little bit different from Hunt as well. So I think, if anything, it needs to be more praise for Kinley as opposed to degrading or talking down to Hunt. These guys are young. It's early. They haven't played a snap, like not even a preseason snap. So we need to keep that in mind, guys. I think that Hunt will eventually transition into the position. I think that eventually he will make his way into the starting lineup, whether it be because of injury or any other piece. But I do also want to mention that Hunt was seen as someone that could play guard and tackle. And so you got a guy that was competing to try to start at guard, but was also learning how to play a little bit of tackle as well. And that's not easy. There's a lot of scheme pieces. There's a lot of technique that's very different. I mean, you saw how well Eric Flowers transitioned to left guard because, you know, the technique and the different skill set that you'll need for the two positions are different. So I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit. This offensive line is absolutely unproven. I think we got a backup center starting for us who showed that he can take an opportunity last year in New England. I think we have Flowers who's resurrected his career playing at guard. I think we have pretty much the youngest player in the NFL, if not one of the top 3 youngest players in Austin Jackson starting for us. He's going to have his bumps in the road. And I think you have Jesse Davis, who's willing to do anything and everything, even taking some time at center. So this will definitely be the biggest question mark for this team. And if they perform, we could see a very surprising record on this team, as well as if they underperform and really struggle, we could see them playing down and struggling this season. So it's up in the air. I really want to watch the development, and that's my goal for this season, is to watch the offensive line play and really learn the skills and techniques and the pieces that are the intricacies of the offensive line, because I think moving forward that we're going to have to put Tua in there at some point. And these are the guys that we need to trust Tua's hip with. So I'm excited to see the development. Give Hunt some break. We'll see how things play out during the season, and, you know, praise Kinley for the hard work that he's shown. He's taken advantage of an opportunity when, you know, normally this opportunity wouldn't be there. So this will be definitely the position group to watch moving forward on the offensive side of the ball for me.
Absolutely. And I love what you just said about, you know, challenging yourself to, you know, really watch and study the offensive line group. I feel like in the past 3 years, I've kind of taken that challenge for myself to really watch the offensive line play. And I know it's really tough when you're watching a game live. Like, you know, I've always considered myself to be a ball watcher, and who can when, you know, you're watching a football game live? It's so hard not to. However, I truly believe that the minute I started watching and analyzing the offensive line position group, I started to learn a little bit more about football. And it really puts into perspective how important these 5 guys are for us. These guys are impacting our passing game, but with protection. They are opening holes for our running game. If these guys do not perform, it impacts everyone. It impacts everyone on this team, everyone on that offense. And unfortunately, like he said, you know, we have to be realistic. This is an unproven group. These are a lot of young guys. We're starting 2 rookies on our offensive line. And, you know, 2 newcomers as well on our offensive line. This is going to be the first time that these guys all line up together. It could go good. It could go bad. You know what I mean? And we have to be ready for both. And I think that is the reason why you're seeing these predictions all over the place from the Dolphins, for, you know, national media people. You know, you're seeing as high as 10-6, maybe 9-7, to even as low as like 4-12, 5-11, and that is really what we're facing right now with this offensive line. They have the power to dictate that, and so I am excited to see this group, especially Austin Jackson. And I'm excited to see them, and I hope that they perform well, and I hope they stay healthy, because I'm not very confident in the backups. I know we have Julian Davenport at left tackle. We have Michael Dieter, who, if you guys want to affiliate the word bust with somebody, it might be Michael Dieter, not Robert Hunt. He's the backup center, which even still, I'm not going to call him a bust. He's just not, he hasn't really performed well for us. But yeah, I just really hope this group stays healthy, because if it doesn't, it's not going to look good for the Dolphins, and I won't be happy.